show you how to get your EIN, which is nothing but your employer identification number. So this is done by filling out the form called SS-4. So there are three ways you could get, there are three kinds of scenarios where you could get your EIN. So the first one would be an EIN for a American citizen or a US resident. Sorry. So if you have an SSN or an ITIN, all you need to do is log on to irs.gov EIN, and you could apply on the website and you could get your EIN in just like 10 minutes. But there are scenarios where if you are a foreign national and you have a US LLC registered in the US and you need to apply for EIN, then this is the form that you need to fill and fax it to the IRS, and say after 4 weeks you could get your EIN through a fax. And the last scenario would be where you are a foreign national who's living abroad and you need an EIN for a foreign company. In that case also you would fill out this form, give it to the IRS on the call. You need to call the IRS and fax it in the call, and you would be given your EIN. We could just write it over here or keep it wherever you want, and along with that the IRS will fax you a letter and you could keep that letter as well. So there are couple of ways where you could get your EIN, and in this video we will see how to get an EIN for a foreign national who has a company in the US. So say if you have a company through Amazon or Shopify and you just registered your first LLC in the US, then in this video I will show you how to get your EIN for that. So we start with the first point over here. You need to enter the legal name of the company on line 1, and if the company's name is different from the one registered, so you enter in 2. Line 3 is for the executor, trustee, or the care of name. So in our case that's not applicable. You come to point 4a, which is the mailing address. So this is the mailing address where the IRS will actually give you the EIN letter. So we enter the address on 4a and 4b. This is the US address, and this could be a PO box address as it says over here. If you want to give your foreign address, you can enter on line 5a and 5b. Line 6 is the county and the state where the company is ABC LLC is registered. So in our case you entered as New York County. Name of the responsible party is the person who owns the company in the US. So the IRS wants to know who the real owner of this company is, so you got to enter over here. Line 7b would be your SSN, ITIN, or EIN. So our taxpayer is a foreign national, so he doesn't have any, so we're going to enter as foreign. Coming to 8a, is this application for LLCs? Yes, it is. And if 8a is yes, the number of persons, so this is a single member LLC, so we enter as 1. The other 8c is if yes, is the LLC organized in the US? You would tick as yes. Coming to 9a, the type of entity. So this section is very important. The type of entity, what type of entity you have created in the US. So in our case, you would enter the last one, which is other, and enter as foreign owned US disregarded entity. So a single member LLC in the US is disregarded for tax purposes. The taxes are passed on to the individual and he pays the taxes on his tax return. So in our case, we're going to enter as foreign owned US disregarded entity. Line 9b isn't applicable, so we'll leave it blank. Line 10, you need to enter the reason for applying. In our case, it started a new business. It's an online business, e-commerce business. Okay, then coming to 11, number 11 is about the date you started the business. So this is the date we started the business. The closing year would always be December unless you're following a fiscal year. The US usually follows a calendar year, so the December would be the closing month of the accounting year. Highest number of employees you expect to hire in the next 12 months. So in our case, he doesn't expect to hire any US employees, so it would be 0, 0, and 0 over here. 15 isn't applicable. 16, you need to enter which business or box over here would suit your requirement. In our case, we have entered as others, as e-commerce. Then line 17, you need to mention what line of business you are into. In our case, we have entered as electronics and clothing items selling online. So you need to mention the products or the services you're providing. Coming to 18, this would be have you applied has the applicant entity shown on line 1 ever applied or for and received an EIN? So in this case, it would be no. If you previously applied, you need to enter your EIN over here. And since this is self-prepared, third-party designee won't come into picture. So all you need to do is enter your name, your position in the company, the signature, the date, the applicant's, your phone number, and your fax number. Make sure to enter your fax number if you're doing it yourself, because this is the number where the IRS will actually fax you the EIN. The letter will come separately on this address, but that can get lost or something. So this is the fastest way to get the letter from the IRS. So make sure you enter your fax number or get a fax number if you don't have one. So that's it. So in this case, there is a fax number from the IRS which you need to send to. I will drop that number in the description. So for foreign nationals who have a US LLC, they have to fax it to that number and wait for at least 2 weeks, or contact the IRS and check out the status of it. And after 2 to 4 weeks, you would get a letter from the IRS. If you didn't get the letter, then you need to call up to the IRS and check the status of it. Make sure to have the fax number. If you are a foreign national who is requesting an EIN for a foreign company, then all you need to do is call up the IRS and fax this same form during the call, and they will give you the EIN, and later 2 or 4 weeks later they will send you the letter to their mailing address. For folks based in the US who are US residents, citizens, and have created a US LLC, you don't need to fill this form. A similar version of this form is on the IRS website, and all it takes is 10 minutes to get your EIN directly. There are no charges to get EIN, but if you want to hire someone, then yes, you will have to pay. Important thing to remember is that make sure you also attach your articles of incorporation or the state where you have incorporated, whatever documents you have of the LLC, to this application. If you have created a company outside of the US and applying for EIN, make sure you have those documents as well. You need to fax those documents along with your SS-4 to the IRS. The IRS definitely wants to cross-check if it's actually a genuine entity. So it's very important, whatever documents you have of the LLC which can prove that it's a genuine LLC, make sure to attach those documents to your SS-4 as well. That's about it. So the EIN is one of the most easiest applications to get from the IRS. You could use your EIN to open a bank account for Amazon, for Stripe, whatever it is. But make sure to follow and complete this form correctly and sign and date it, and make sure you have a fax number and an international phone line to call the IRS. If you want us to do this application, I'll be more than happy to do this. If you have any questions on this video, I'll be more than happy to answer whatever questions you may have. Please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any further questions on this video, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.